Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on multiplying decimals by powers of 10, 100, etc. worksheets. So this video presents some worksheets where we have an opportunity to practice multiplying decimals by the different powers of 10. Now if you're not sure how to do this, or you actually don't know, we have a lesson on this. So not long ago we presented a lesson on this very topic. When you get to the last slide on this video, there is a link. Just click on the link and that will explain how to do all these. Let's start very quickly. There were 3 rules given in the lesson, and the first rule says that if you're multiplying a decimal by 10, move the decimal point 1 place to the right. Okay, so that applies to these 3. The next rule says that if you're multiplying a decimal by 100, you move the decimal point 2 places to the right. Okay, so that applies to all the ones where you multiply by 100. Now, the other little trick is you add whatever zeros you need at the end to make sure that you can move the decimal point the number of places to the right. You're allowed to add zeros, as many as you want. Here's a classic example where we'll be adding a number of zeros because we only have 0.4 and we're multiplying by 1,000, and the rule here says that you multiply by 1,000, you have to move the decimal point 3 places to the right. So look at all these here. All of those there involve moving the decimal point 3 places to the right. And look at it carefully and make sure you add the required number of zeros. Let's have a look at the next slide. Now here we have some very interesting questions. There are 17 of them. The important part about all this is you have to read it very carefully, and you have to know what the conversions are. If you know the conversions, it's very straightforward. I'll just give you a hint just for 1 or 2. You have to know, for example, that there are 10 millimeters in a centimetre. Once you know that, those ones are straightforward. Down here, you need to know that there are 100 centimetres in a metre. That's important. This one here, for example, you need to know that there are 1,000 metres in a kilometre. Okay? Down here, this is a very interesting one. Right, the number of grams in a kilogram, you have to know how many. I won't give you a hint, I've given you enough hints already. So basically what I'm saying is, you have to know the conversions. When you know those conversions, then they're all multiples of 10, then you just move the decimal point the appropriate number of places to the right. And the next slide, there is a link. If you don't know what to do, click on the link and that'll take you to the lesson. So this video has presented a few slides where we have some practice in multiplying decimals by powers of 10. Excuse me. And on this slide here, as you see, that also involves conversions where we change, for example, centimetres to millimetres and kilometres to metres, etc. You have to read it carefully and you have to know the conversion.